All right, let's dive into one of the most chilling tales ever written. Edgar Allan Poe's The Cask of Amontillado. Today, we're going to dissect the two unforgettable characters at the very heart of this story.
So, picture this. It's carnival in an old Italian city. The streets are just packed with people celebrating. There's music, wild costumes, total chaos, a massive party. But underneath all that fun and celebration, a horrifying act of revenge is about to go down between two men who call each other friend. And that's really the core question, isn't it? To really get why this story ends the way it does, we have to get inside the minds of the two guys at its dark center, Montresor, the killer, and Fortunato, his victim, who has no idea what's coming.
Okay, let's get into it. And we have to start with the man who planned it all, the architect of this whole crime, the incredibly cutting and vengeful Montresor.
So who is this guy? Well, Montresor is basically playing three roles at once. He's our narrator, telling us the story 50 years after it happened. He's the avenger, obsessed with getting payback for some insult. And the most chilling part, he's a master deceiver, smiling to his friend's face while he plots his murder.
Now, his actions aren't random at all. He lives by this very specific, cold-blooded code of revenge. For Montresor, it only counts if, 1, he gets away with it completely, and 2, the person he's punishing knows exactly who is doing this to them. It has to be personal.
And where does this twisted philosophy come from? Well, it's literally his family legacy. Their motto is, "No one insults me and gets away with it." So for him, Fortunato's insult isn't just a personal slight. It's an attack on his entire family honor, one that he feels he absolutely has to answer.
This leads us to a huge problem, though. We're only getting Montresor's side of the story. He's what you'd call an unreliable narrator. I mean, think about it. He never actually tells us what Fortunato did that was so awful. So you have to ask, was the insult even real, or is Montresor just insane?
And let's not forget that number, 50 years. He's remembering every little detail half a century later. That tells you this crime has been haunting him. Near the end, he even admits his heart grew sick, but then he just blames it on the damp catacombs. It really makes you wonder if this whole story is a boast or a deathbed confession.
Okay, so Montresor's calculated evil is one half of this deadly equation, but his plan only works because it perfectly exploits the fatal flaw of his victim, Fortunato. Fortunato is basically defined by one thing: his massive ego. He is so arrogant about how much he knows about wine that he can't stand the idea of anyone else being seen as an expert. He trusts Montresor, which makes the betrayal so much worse. And of course, his costume, a jester, is the perfect symbol for the fool he's about to be made into.
And Poe is just brilliant with the irony here. Fortunato's name literally means the fortunate one, but he suffers about the most unfortunate fate you can imagine. He's dressed as a jester while being made a fool of, and maybe the best bit of irony, he makes fun of Montresor for not being a Freemason, totally unaware that Montresor is a literal mason who's about to wall him up forever.
The real horror of the story is how these two personalities crash into each other. It's a perfect crime because the killer knows exactly which buttons to push on his victim.
And this really shows you the core conflict perfectly. On one side, you have Montresor's cold, patient deception, and on the other, you have Fortunato's blind, overwhelming arrogance. It's this deadly mix that leads them both down into the darkness.
So, Montresor's plan unfolds in 3 clean steps. First, there's the bait. He brings up the rare Amontillado wine, knowing Fortunato's pride won't let him resist showing off. Second, the descent. He keeps feeding him wine, leading him deeper underground, all while pretending to be worried about his cough. And finally, the entombment. Fortunato, still completely clueless, just walks right into a small recess in the wall, and that's it. Montresor chains him up before he even knows what's happened.
So what's the point of all this darkness? Well, Poe isn't just trying to creep us out. He's giving us a pretty timeless warning through these two characters.
When you boil it all down, there are some really powerful lessons here. We learn that pride can make you fatally blind to danger. We see how a civilized, friendly person can be hiding a monster inside. And maybe the biggest takeaway is that the scariest things in the world aren't ghosts or demons, they're other people.
And in the end, Poe leaves us with this one haunting, unanswerable question. Because we never find out what Fortunato actually did, we have to decide for ourselves. Was Montresor's revenge a twisted, but maybe understandable defense of his family's honor? Or was it just the horrible act of a complete sociopath?
The fact that we can't ever know for sure, well, that's what makes this story so chilling.